sass that's about to.
Well, you are the center of attention. So
you are the host.
Leah, it's so good to see you. It's been a while.
It's Glen Ellen.
Yeah, since Glen Ellen. Yeah. How many years ago? 6?
11.
No, 11 years ago.
12. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
10 years.
Yeah.
And we were just in your town. We love your town, by the way.
I know, we're so bummed we missed you guys.
Oh yes, I had never been there, and I was like, this is now added to my list of potential retirement spots.
Oh yeah, is that better?
Oh, you don't get that close. Oh my God. Okay, stop.
You had to snuggle while interviewing.
All right. Thank you for trusting us and giving us time. Our show, we've been married for 30 years. We grew up completely, 31 years. Thank you. This is how this is going to go already today.
But who's counting?
Yeah. We talk about business. We talk about life, kids, all that sort of thing, marriage and family. And you guys have such an interesting story. And we're just going to jump in. How's that sound?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
Life isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. And along the way, we all stumble, learn, and keep going.
Welcome to Running Ahrens, a podcast about navigating marriage, parenting, business, faith, and all the unexpected detours that come along with it.
We're Justin and Sarah Ahrens, partners in life, business, and raising 4 incredible kids.
For over 30 years, we've been figuring things out as we go. Sometimes successfully, and sometimes, well, not so much.
But that's the beauty of hindsight. We're here to share the lessons we've learned, the wins, the failures, and the moments that have shaped us.
Through honest conversations, special guests, and maybe even a few stories from our kids, we'll explore what it really takes to grow, adapt, and move forward.
So whether you're running a business, a household, or just running late,
you're in the right place. Let's do this together.
We're glad you're here. Welcome to Running Ahrens. So I have to know, I believe this is true, but you guys met when you were really young. Is that correct?
Third grade. Miss Naughton's class, I believe, at Oakwood Elementary School in Lemont. Yeah, so a long time ago. Leah's mom was our AYSO.
AYSO.
Was she a ref?
She was a soccer ref for the young kids.
To think now that she was ever a ref at Scott. Anyway, so yeah, we've known each other a long time. Homecoming, prom, all that.
Okay, wait. So you met in 3rd grade, but when
did it become a dating? Like you jumped from 3rd grade to prom.
Yeah. Go ahead, Leah.
3rd grade through, let's just say, senior year of high school, we've always just been friends, and we had the same friend groups. We were in band together. We had a small...
Wait, I gotta know what instruments.
Yeah, what did we play?
So I played the oboe.
Okay.
And Christian played the trombone.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually went to Bradley to play my oboe there. And I saw that you were going to Bradley. Did you go there yet or not?
I go tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, small world. Okay, so 3rd grade, you're in band together. When did you officially start?
So, senior year, homecoming. So fall of senior year. And I was pretty much shamed by some of my friends. And I was kind of like the anti-dance kind of guy. And it probably, most of that is just insecurity anyways, and be scared of it. And so he said, like, hey, Leah's available, even though she was dating some sophomore in college or something. So she was way out of my league, right? And I was like, I'm not doing this, some college football player, a sophomore. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? And so I eventually got up the nerve to ask her to homecoming. And of course she said yes. And then I was, as a marching band guy, the rumors starting to spread that, hey, Leah's old guy is going to come looking for you at the football game and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was like all that Midwestern
drama.
Yeah.
Did it come to fruition? Did he show up?
No. He could be.
I was going to ask Leah, what's the real story?
Yeah.
Were you really dating?
I was dating this guy, but it was one of those situations where I wanted to break up with him. You just felt like you couldn't, or it was harder to do it. He was gone anyway. So I thought, sure enough, if Christian asked me to homecoming, then I'll ditch Jeff, and then Christian and I will become an item. And then, so we dated our whole senior year of high school, and then came time for graduation. Christian decided to pursue his cycling career, and he's going to travel the world. And I was like, I'm going to Bradley. I'm going to be in a sorority. I'm going to have fun. And so I was like, we got to break up.
So she kicked me to the curb, more or less.
Oh,
Wow. I love it.
And in hindsight, it was like seriously the best thing ever because for the two of us. So our family still lived in Lemont. So every Christmas we'd come home together. Every Thanksgiving, no matter what was going on in our opposite ends of the world, we always got back together and always had this connection. And this was pre-FaceTime and instant messaging and all that stuff. So we really had to make an effort to stay in touch. And then it's okay. So then fast forward a couple more years, graduate college, living in the city of Chicago, working 5 years after, Christian crashes out of the tour and comes back to Chicago. And I said, just come hang out with me in the city. And he lived with me for a while and he healed. And finally it was time for him to go back to Boulder where he was living. And the next thing was come with me. And I was like, oh. And so I did. I took a chance.
It was not that easy, obviously. We're leaving out a lot in the middle, but yes, more or less.
Okay, so let's pause really quick. So you go to Bradley to live your college life. Christian, at what stage did you decide, were you just going to be pro cycling all the time? Like, how did that work? Like in high school?
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
What's the transition?
So the summer after we graduated high school, so that was 94, I won the national championships on the track. And that catapulted me into the deep end right away. I was ready for it, but not ready for it at the same time, just because my father was an Olympian, 2-time Olympian. I grew up in his footsteps, and he was one of the first professional cyclists from the United States who happened to grew up in Glen Ellen as well. So I've always been underneath his tutelage. So I was ready for it, but not ready. But that put me into the Pan Am Games. That put me into all these things. Then I went to live right in the Olympic Training Center right out of high school. So I gave up my college, I had a nice full ride to one of the colleges in Indiana. So I said, forget about that. I just went to Australia to a training camp where I lived there for 4 years. And then I turned pro, I think in 97, 98. So that was that section of time when Leah was going to school.
Okay. And how did you, again, we didn't have the internet then, really, email. How did you guys stay in contact? Was it literally when you came home or?
It's so funny that you mentioned that. I have a pile of letters downstairs that I would never, ever show to my kids.
By the way, we have a box of letters that if I read them now, I would blush at what I wrote there.
I read them and I'm like, I can't believe I ever said that stuff. I was like, who is that girl?
And Leah would always one-up whatever I was doing and act like she's so in it. And then one time, so I finally got up the nerve to say some things I should never, to your point, that would make you sick. Leah's mom reads it. Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Everything's okay. Obviously now we got married, but there was a time where we thought that was the end of that. So,
my favorite stories of our dating years, I may have talked about it before, is Justin was really into making mixtapes.
You're going to love this. You're going to love this, by the way.
And he was also really into 90s R&B, really schmoopy R&B love songs. So he sent me a mixtape. I was in high school. We started dating. I was in high school and he was in college. And he sent me a mixtape. And I don't remember the particulars, but I got mad at him, broke up with him, ran the tape over with my car and sent it back to him.
How great is that?
That's pretty great.
Fury.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, and then I was, what a brat was I? It was it was a very powerful move, though.
You're in Chicago. What were you doing? What was your job at the time?
Oh God, what was I doing? I think I was I was in sales, and I was working for this company called Last Minute Gourmet. So I was selling food, parties, and trying to get corporate events in the city. So it was always food related. And then before that, I was selling for a Lanier Worldwide. It was copy machines and fax machines. That was my first job out of college.
Oh, wow.
All right. So Christian, how bad was your crash that you needed to go to Chicago and recover with Leah?
It was a pretty good one, man. I did a bunch of crashes that year at the Tour. That was 2001 Tour de France. And I broke my scaphoid pretty good. So it's a hard bone to break. A lot of motorcycle riders.
That's one in your wrist?
What is a scaphoid?
It's in your wrist, right?
Yeah, just
right
the
tiny one.
You got it. And so without surgery most times, it's not going to heal properly. So anyways, lack of blood flow. So I went to University of Chicago where my mom was still teaching at that time. So I was back in the city. And I was like, hey, I got nothing to do. It's summertime still. Just going to Cubs games, things like that together. And then trying to woo her back to Boulder.
So you went back to Boulder, and then what did life look like then?
Oh, that was ugly, man. I'm not going to lie. Leah did not. I didn't really love Boulder that much in myself. So I was like a tweener. I wasn't a college kid, but I wasn't older. So I was just, anyway, Leah came over here and she's a go-getter. So she has to be doing something. I'm not going to just sit here and be the girlfriend. And so she got a job and she went with a startup, Monte Coffee. So they started a Monte Coffee, which still exists actually. Yeah. So that was pretty fun for her to do, but that was pretty short-lived. And then marriage and then moving to Spain pretty much in rapid succession after that.
Do you see how he skips like big parts of the story? I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So marriage, and again, you can be as vulnerable and open as you want, or you don't have to be, but so you pull your life up, you go out to Boulder because Christian's so handsome and charming. You're starting this thing what's it like? Because I'm assuming Christian
is gone. So I moved there and he basically leaves. And I was like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah.
Seriously though, my parents, they didn't want me to go. But my dad was like, if you feel like this is what you have to do, then this is what you have to do. And was just motivated by all the new people and all the hiking and all the biking and all the fun stuff there. I just got totally involved, immersed myself. And before you know it, he was home 3 months later. And then he proposed. And then, we got married 6 months later. So it was super rapid, real quick.
All right. So then after that, you moved to Spain because that's where the best part to train is. To highlight, Christian, what is because to me, one of the questions I want to talk to you about later is, and especially when you guys became parents, what is it like when, you have to be gone for massive periods of time? And so what was it like when your early relationship, even when you moved to Spain, you're still training, right? A ton?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. 2002, we got married in the fall, in October. And so 2003 was my first year, our first year together. Leah had come over here once in a blue moon before when we were engaged, but really just once. And so the reason I was in Spain was because that's a great hub for cycling in general. All the races are over there. And we chose Girona, Spain. That's an hour north of Barcelona. And so we set up camp there. But you're right, even when she did know, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but even when we were living together in Girona, I'm still leaving Girona. So even though we've already left the United States to go as expats, now I'm leaving that home base again and leaving Leah there.
But at least we're on the same time zone. Now, that's very helpful.
Yeah, that was a big deal. But I'm not going to lie, that was one of the harder years, probably the hardest year of our marriage by a long shot.
Yeah.
Leah was sacrificing a lot. It was very new. I wasn't secure enough in my career at that point in time to really just roll out the red carpet. If this was 7-8 years later, I would have no problem. Girona, I knew the city so much better.
You did let me have a dog, though. Yeah, we had our first dog over there.
Weimaran or
something. What about for you? What was your community like? Was there other cyclists that were married?
This was starting, there was hardly anybody there. There were probably, 6 pros living there, maybe 7. Now there's
140, 150?
It's a completely different place.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was trying to make friends with all the wives, but I was never that kind of girl, the wife of a professional athlete.
Most of them weren't either. So there's a lot of strong women. You did make some good friends, though.
I did.
And there was some crazy interactions. We even had, as Lance moved down there, then it was Cheryl Crow who was hanging out there. So they'd go over. It was pretty random, but you had a couple of good buddies that really put the flag in the ground there.
There were a lot of the wives did ride bikes. Either they were pros or ex-pros or just super athletic. Luckily, I swam at Bradley, and then I got into triathlons after that. So I was super psyched to just ride with these people and just jump right in. And then slowly but surely, you're there long enough, you meet people, you find what you want to do. And then I was racing with this semi-pro triathlon team, and I met people through that corridor. And then from there, I started working in the restaurants and was working under these amazing chefs in the area that are now Michelin star restaurants. It was just a whole story of 10 years that just started here and ended up here. It was really a great opportunity, and I never would have had that without having Christian. I never would have went to Spain to do all those things. I was very thankful.
That's interesting because often the story I tell myself sometimes is maybe you marry a professional athlete and you have to give up like your stuff, or you're in the shadows a little bit. But it sounds like you really made your own, like you carved your own path there.
Yeah. Christian was a huge supporter of whatever it is I wanted to do and encouraged me to do and make things and make it my own. And so I think having that around was so huge. You're such a good guy.
We had a good friend and teammate that really instilled in us that you have to be all in. And there was a mindset when we first were over there in 98 all the way through right around the time we got married is we're over here for a job. And the second that job's over, we're hightailing it back home to the United States as fast as possible. And he's like, that is a horrible mentality to have. You have to buy into where you're here for 70, 80% of the year. You have to make this your home. You have to invest in it. You have to invest in relationships, everything. And when we changed that mindset, that's when it became a little bit, I'm not going to say it was a lot easier, but it was a lot better. And especially in hindsight, having this conversation of what we got to experience is 10x what we would have done if we were going back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
So just interesting from a parent perspective, if one of your children, you have girls and boys? I can't remember.
Two girls.
Two girls. So your daughter comes to you at your age. Hey, I think I'm going to move across the world.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
For this guy.
No.
How do you feel about that?
My parents were pissed just because I was moving to Boulder. There's no way they would have let me go if we weren't married. No way. There's no way. Yeah.
No, it's true.
And I don't think I'd let my girls. Maybe now things are different, but still.
And it's cycling. It's not baseball or football or F1. This is Leah's dad's like, when are you going to get a real job? All this. That's how
that was going to be my question, because what cycling from my perspective, and Christian, obviously, and Leah, you have a much better basis for this than I do. But when Christian, you first went pro, especially in America, cycling was felt like it was nothing.
No one understood it or knew much about it.
Leah, what did your dad think? Literally, did he think cycling was like a hobby? Like he could actually make a career out of it?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Oh, my dad?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He thought he had a job with the Postal Service, like being a postman. That's how bad it was.
Yes.
And my dad is an educated attorney. But for a parent to understand something like that was very difficult. And then slowly but surely, Christian kept proving himself in the cycling world, and just his contracts just kept getting better and better. And my parents became more aware of the sport, and Lance Armstrong definitely was making all kinds of headway and helped the sport out. As much as we shame the guy for what he's done, he has definitely elevated the sport of cycling in the United States, and have him to thank for sure.
Yeah, no, Christian and I have talked about this before. I love that whole team and what Lance did for the sport. But Christian, or both of you, just for our listeners who may not know much about the cycling world, talk about that team. Like, how big was that team and how important was that team for American cycling?
People forget that, first of all, the team was, especially when I first was on the team in 98, and that was Lance's first year as well, it was tiny, and it was a tiny budget as well. And it was like, we literally had a postal worker riding on that team. Kenny LeBay from Chicago. Kenny was,
Are you serious?
Yes, Kenny, for sure. No shit. And so we had 14 or 15 people. And then Lance, even I think in March or April that year, tapped out. So I don't want to do this anymore. He was on his comeback trail from cancer, and he was not all in. So at points, we only had, if you had a heartbeat, you were going to race. That's pretty much. So I think I raced like 110 days or something like that my first year as a 21-year-old. I don't know. I don't think I really trained. I just rode my bike and tried to recover in between. And so it was a very tiny team. And then it just continued to grow from there. And obviously the next year, Lance won the Tour de France, and then won a 7-year streak of winning, and it got bigger and bigger. But those first couple of years, we were definitely the bad news bears, for sure. But yeah, in retrospect, from not just cycling, you think of the Tour de France in general, they were always in the red. They never made $1. We had to pay an entry fee to the Tour de France. This is not, I feel like I am like from the dark ages, which I am now, but we had to pay, I think it was like $300,000 per team or something like that, to enter the Tour de France, which paid for your hotel and all the other stuff and your cars, and that they would give you these crappy Fiat cars to drive around. It is night and day from what that was then in the late 90s, early 2000s to what it is today and how professional it is. So yeah, it's U.S. cycling, but it's also cycling in general. and on the global scale.
So it's comparatively, and again, I don't know this, so I could be totally wrong here, but now the teams, right, have millions of dollars and big sponsorship and fancy buses and all the things, right? Most of the time.
Yeah, all the teams have buses, all the teams have chefs. This is always a funny thing to think of in hindsight, is that we were really at hotels at night. We had to eat whatever food they happened to be serving, which is insane to me. Like,
it's very counterintuitive to the nutritional needs that you probably had.
It's Jim Akowitz, a family friend of ours who ran the 7-Eleven and Motorola team before. Those are two big American teams before U.S. Postal. He was one of the first guys to bring a chef on. So we inherited Willie. He was an old Swiss Air chef. They met him on the airplane when that was first class to actually have a chef on the plane. And now I'm really going to the dark ages. So you talk to him, he would be over there. And now everyone has chefs. Everyone has buses like you're talking about, Justin. So yeah, it's come a long way.
That is crazy.
I love it. All right. So let's get to when you guys decide to have a family. Where are you both in your respective careers or interests at that point?
So we had been married for 5 years before we decided to have kids. So we were I was racing triathlon pretty heavily. I was pretty lean at that time and I wasn't really in the right shape to be pregnant.
Can I pause there and just highlight something else too? Let's admit, you're an absolute stud athlete. Christian, help me out. Is that true?
She did the Ironman twice. Like, the things that she could have, in hindsight, we could have done a much better job of streamlining this all.
It's hard to have two athletes in a household, and when one's making money and one's not.
Especially the one who's not making money, who's training more than the other. You're like, what are you doing?
It's the love of the sport.
Yes. We always knew we wanted kids. It had been 5 years, so we got to get going. And got pregnant, and we had our first one in Spain. And then time passed, and the next year I went to go see Christian at the Giro. And I was like, I can't get pregnant. We just had Uma. And so sure enough, a month later, I was like, guess what? So now we have two girls that are 18 months apart, it's still far enough, but they're close.
We have our youngest are 17 months apart. So I know.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then seriously, we would have had more kids, but it's crazy lifestyle, traveling back and forth and Christian gone all the time. I was like, I think we're done. And I really wanted a boy and there's no guarantees. So just to have another baby it was time to say that two's perfect.
Yes. So how do were your daughters old enough when you were still racing? Were they aware of what you were doing? Did they have an understanding? Or
I think the last year I was racing.
Oh, we've got a
Great Dane.
A Great Dane over here.
I love it.
I do.
Hi, Liz.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I think when you ask kids, especially so my oldest is 18 years old. They're old enough that we have a bunch of iPhone pictures and movies and things like that. And so I don't know how much they actually remember versus how much they're recollecting because they're looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
It's in between, I would say. But she was 6 years old my last year. Enough to be like, every time I came home, all beat up from a bike race for a crash. And you have that crash, Daddy? Then that would just broke my heart again. What am I doing? And that eased it for me to pull the ripcord. And
let's talk about this from your perspective. Do you feel waiting 5 years and then starting to have a family, did you have enough of the rhythm of what it was going to be like every year? Or is there a whole other adjustment period because you're like, holy crap, I'm home by myself raising my daughters?
Yes and yes. I feel like every marriage, they should definitely wait. No one should just get married and have kids. That's crazy. You need to figure out. And then we had this special situation of living across the pond. And so I figured out what I thought I was going to be great with. But then having another kid is having support and family around is great. But we didn't even have that. So you have a baby, cross the pond, like no family. Like I had a couple friends. And Christian, so I had Uma on June 27th, and 2 days later, he leaves for the Tour de France. So for 3 weeks.
That sounds like some timing that is...
Right? Not great.
Oh, wow.
But the thing about how much a badass Leah was, she showed up in which stage?
We were in Carcassonne, I think.
Yeah, she drove to Carcassonne.
2 weeks old.
Yeah, throw the baby in the back. Let's go. We're going to tour. And so she showed up, hung out. That was so cool. And I still think of that as like one of the most special couple of hours that I had in the Tour de France. First of all, from my side, okay, yeah, I sound like a horrible person leaving my wife, of course. But at the same time, like I had to leave. It was horrible for me to be away from Uma. So her coming up there and just getting to spend some time, that was really cool. But I think of that often, especially when I see, especially first parents and how guarded they were. Don't touch the baby, don't look at it. Don't.
2 weeks old, you bring them out to this massive group. Like I remember with our firstborn, I was like, we cannot go in public for 6 weeks.
And then by the last one, if I dropped their pacifier in mud, I would just...
Exactly. And then we had Maddie. The timing just happened to be that we were in Chicago. So I had her in Chicago, and then Christian had to leave
the same thing.
to go to tour California. And I brought her on a plane after a week and a half. And this guy sitting next to me is like, how old's that baby?
It's a little burrito. It's brought her over to California.
Really, it's really easy to travel with them when they're that small. And
that's what I said. They're not going to get sick. They've got all these great antibodies. Like, this is the best time.
Yeah.
So I think being a wife of any kind of or athlete, it toughens you up, man. You're faced with a lot of challenges, and I'm always up for the challenge. So it's been so much fun and such great learning curves, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I want to fast forward then to when I had the privilege of meeting you two. A friend who knew your dad, Leah, introduced me to Christian, and we were doing a charity ride. And Christian, one of the things that I absolutely will never forget about you, I didn't know you at all. You had just had your retirement party, and you're like, hey, you want to come back to my house and finish a keg? Do you remember that? So we all came over to the house, we built a fire, and you just told cycling stories, and it was incredible. And then, Leah, I met you. We came back and trained like Rocky Balboa. Christian tried to get me and my friend Brian to puke. And I think, were you a chef at the time, or were you doing?
I probably was working in the city. Yeah, I was cooking at a VEC probably.
Oh my gosh, you were cooking at a VEC?
I know, I totally lucked out there. I was definitely in the basement doing prep work. I was never allowed to cook, but it was super, super valuable. It was really a lot of fun.
Oh. So let's talk about that. So Christian decides to retire, and Christian, if you want to share what kind of went into that decision, that'd be great. But Leah, I'd love to know, what were you doing then? So you obviously had all this experience when you were living overseas to work with some chefs and restaurants. I'm assuming that carried over to that.
It did. I worked in the city for a while, and we were living in the suburbs, and I wasn't getting home till 11, 10 at night. I'm like, what am I doing? This is so dumb. And I was like, I'm just going to start a personal chef business. And Christian had a great friend that helped us with a name for the company, and a friend that helped out with a website. Because back then, 14 years ago, it wasn't super easy to build a website like today. Wow. So I started doing that, and I had some great clients in Oak Brook and just Hinsdale. And there's tons of people who want food prep for them, and I did parties, and so I did that for a while. And then we decided to come out to Greenville, and I did that here for a while. And then I just opened up a ice cream truck business. So that's been really fun too.
Oh my gosh, you're such a go-getter. I'm super have a crush on you about this.
I'm on the couch.
Bruce and I guess we'll just FaceTime each other.
This sounds strange, but I just don't have many women in my life that are like a go-getter. I have lovely people in my life. Don't get me wrong, but people are like constantly to us, like, you guys even do things in your side work that's work. And I'm like, no, it's just stuff we want to do. It's like super fun. What are we supposed to do? Sit around and I don't know. Just
yeah. Exactly.
And my parents are always like, wait, what are you doing on top? I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. We're just starting this little side business. It's no big deal.
That's so awesome.
Before we go back to your retirement, Christian, so tell me about the ice cream truck.
Oh, yeah.
And what kind of ice cream? And
so it's so it was during COVID, and I had a friend that was interested in starting an ice cream business also. So we collaborated. He doesn't know anything about food. He didn't know what basil was. Like, he's terrible, but he's a real good business, super great entrepreneur. So without his help to get it started, it would have been definitely more terrifying. So I had his help to get everything going and get started. And then a year later, he's, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, okay, I'll buy you out. So for the last 3 years, I've been doing it.
Yeah.
So we bought a vintage Citroen truck. So it's a French vehicle. It's a 1970, super cool. The whole side flips up and we scoop ice cream out of there. And it's so much fun. We do small batch ice cream, all local flavors, ingredients. We do weddings and corporate events. We'll do pop-ups here and there. And then maybe in the next year or two, we might be getting a little storefront. So we'll see.
Wow, fun. I love it.
By the way, if that current fictional storefront opens up, don't worry about your dog. It's all good.
I love it.
You'll be there for the grand opening.
All right. I love it.
Yeah.
On a scoop. So yeah, Leah, the truck is incredible because it was my idea to get that truck. But
Let's be
what
clear.
Leah does in her personality comes through. And I think that for the go-getter she's not as much of a risk taker or putting all on black for herself. So we're trying to push her into going and expanding and doing it more and changing from hobby-ish job to really making it into a full-time. But there's so many things where the kids are in the ages that they're in. And if we want to be able to pick up and go whenever we want, then having something like brick and mortar is probably not the best idea at the time. We got a year and a half and then we're going to be empty nesters. How crazy that sounds.
How old are
Let me just tell you, they come back.
We have 4.
We have 4. And they are
3 at home.
3 at home. 2 of them are graduated and 1 is commuting from school to school
Okay.
from home. So that, and 1 has been home for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
But that's
That's a whole other.
and I don't. This
that's
isn't
whole
a
other
complaint.
episode.
So if you're
Yeah.
sad, I just want to give you some hope. If you're sad, there is a potential that they come home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Leah. What were we going to say?
Oh, I was just saying, maybe if they do come home, we'll employ them all with the ice cream
There you
business.
go.
Exactly.
That's great.
Exactly. You do have, and you have forced labor because you're living here for free.
Exactly.
You got to earn your keep.
Love
So,
you.
Christian, you retire from cycling and you make a move. How long from cycling to what's the next stage of your career? What are you doing now?
I met you, that was the fall, obviously, after retirement party. Had been getting off those 3 pony kegs in my backyard. That was really fun. And during this tour, I crashed out of my last Tour de France that year, and our media liaison, Mariah, said, hey, they're looking for some new talent at NBC for the Tour de France. If you want to fly back, because I've already been to Chicago by this point in time, and maybe just do a segment or 2, that'd be like your tryout. It was like a whole lot of wink, nudge, nudge kind of thing. You're coming as a guest, but at the same time, whether or not these guys know. So anyways, I did that, which was completely insane. But it was the first time in my career that I had to start looking out for number 1. So whether it was better for me to be recovering, absolutely not. To get back on the plane and go back to France and hang out the Tour de France and fly back. No, it was horrible for the rest of the season. With broken ribs and all this crap. But it was good enough, though, for the guys at NBC to give me a nod for the next year. And March, April of the next year, I started work with NBC. And honestly, Josh, I started saying yes to everything. So anything came up over my desk, I said yes. And so I was a financial planner for a little bit. But then I did everything, honestly. And it was then I realized, okay, I don't like that. I like this a lot.
But so good at it, though. The clientele that he brought, the amount of wealth that he brought to that.
I hit
So
it
were
like
the
perfect.
financial planner like other athletes that you were working with?
That was like that was right when Ballers came out. So they were like, oh, that's a great idea. Okay, we'll go and we'll start doing that. And and in a network of friends, a lot of high net worth guys. And so it was easy to get quite a bit of money on the table quickly. However, I didn't even have my series 7. Series 7. So I had to do that. And I was like, And then I had this, although it was easy to get the money in, I had this fear, not fear, but if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it right. But I did not want to be managing anyone's money that I wasn't doing properly. And so without that confidence in me, I was like, I don't want to do this, because I want to still try out to see if I like the NBC gig. I want to see if I did all these other things. And I just didn't want to go in one direction right away. So I
You're
said,
saying yes because you didn't quite know what you wanted to do.
Exactly. And so just some mentorship roles. I had an interview with Wasserman in LA for being an agent. Honestly, I did everything. And it's just continued to start going. Peloton came up that next winter.
Oh, that's right. You did some classes.
He still does.
Oh, you still do. That would require me to get on the Peloton.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm back there again. Yeah, it's crazy to think that no one knew what Peloton was at the time. So Peloton had given our team, which at the time is called Garmin's, now EF, I don't know how much money, but they gave some money as a sponsorship role in lieu of some of us going there and teaching some classes. I was like, okay, absolutely. I'll be, because I was retired. And so it's easier for me to go and do that, wear the jersey and teach some classes. And that became a little bit of my post-career as well, on again, off again. And yeah, I'm still doing that 10 or 11 years later as well. And that's been really fun to watch that progress. They put me on ice during COVID because I'm in South Carolina.
Oh.
And I'm the only part-time kind of guy, I guess you want to say it, or
Yeah.
I don't know anyway. So I'm flying in back and forth. Everyone else lives in New York City.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you have to go there to film the classes, correct?
Yeah, we have New York, London, and Germany are the 3 places that we have studios. So it's always going to Hudson Yards now. It used to be in Chelsea, now it's in Hudson Yards. Really cool. And it's a fantastic live experience. If you ever have the chance to come out to do one of those, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you do the live classes or if you just record. So you have people in studio as well with you.
Yeah, I would say it's 50-50 or 60-40, more or less,
Okay.
live versus tape. Especially for myself, I do 9 or 10 classes over the course of 6 days and just pile drive them all through. And then they could bring them out in July when I'm in the Tour de France, for example.
Oh, okay.
So, Leah, I have a question for you. Do you or your daughters do what I do when Christian's at the Tour de France? And that is take the funniest pictures you can of him on TV and send it to him and say, looking good, bro.
Oh my gosh, we have so much fun. It really is entertaining. It's on all the time, whether we're watching it or not. It's definitely on in the background. And then we all go through this withdrawal after the 3 weeks. What are we going to watch now?
Oh, I know. Christian knows. I text him all the time.
And you've gotten Jackson, our son, watches it with him?
All my kids watch it with me. It's like July tradition. But
Yeah.
So now that you're in this new stage and the girls are older and Leah, you are an entrepreneur and doing some great things, and Christian, you're on TV. What do your kids think about what you're doing?
Ooh, good question. They probably still think we're lame.
Yeah, it doesn't
We're
matter.
just dumb parents who don't know anything about anything.
Oh, you're the dumbest
And we're
people
going
in
to
the
use
room.
AI to solve the rest of the world. Like,
Pretty close. I don't think I've never had a job before and never worked, never done anything. So I don't know. There's things every once in a while they're like, wait, my youngest just 3 or 4 years ago, she's, wait, you went to the Olympics? And you could hear her sister from upstairs like eavesdropping. What? Maddie, you don't know that you... And so, yeah, there's a lot of... It's so unrealistic sometimes, but I think we all like it that way as much as possible, that we're just...
No.
It is just the way it is, and not make a big deal out of anything. But I love them being involved. These guys came and did a Peloton class with me, and that was so cool for me to actually... Because there is, not all jokes aside, 90% of the time when they come to school, they see me on the couch, either watching a bike race or doing something, not doing much of anything, right? And in their eyes, at least. And so for them to actually see me do something that is my employment was really fun. Or coming over to the Tour de France is really cool.
I think you told me one time when you were growing up, your dad had cyclists over a lot. So they have obviously had people that are cyclists and business people and are well known in their life. Do they look at them differently than they look at you?
No, I think they just oh, that's just George, and it's
or
crazy.
when Matt Wilpers comes here from Peloton, they're like, "Oh, Matt's here. What gifts did you bring us?" You know, like,
I think that's cool that it's just part of their life. It's
Bob Roll. It's really just, it's about like their uncles more or less, more than anything else, because we're not going to treat them special, and they're not going to act special. That's for sure. All the boots that enter this house are on the ground.
I love it.
I like it. I like that.
I think that's some of the sweetest things about the two of you that I love is that Christian, I can meet you, and Leah, I can meet you anywhere, and I would not know that you guys had this opportunity to travel the world, be in the Tour de France, all that sort of thing. And I just think that's beautiful. So thank you for that.
"Aw,
Thank
that's
you.
good."
We appreciate that.
All right, so this is the part of our show where we just do some like quick hit. That's all right. What's the dog's name?
Lucy.
Lucy.
Oh,
Lucy, join the show. Lucy.
Give me 1 second. I'll go put her down.
All right.
Come on, babe. Let's go. Come on.
Christian, Welpers just destroys me. Can he get under your skin on the bike, or do you still have it?
No, I still beat him silly on the bike.
Do you stay
outside.
on the leaderboard the whole time to make sure you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm totally winning?
No, on the real bike outside. But Matt is, that's no shade on Matt whatsoever, because he's the one doing sub-3 marathons. It would take me 9 hours to do that. So
Yeah.
no, Matt's an impressive athlete for sure, and just the sweetest dude in the world. But I just love to just rib him because it's so much fun and he takes it so well. My favorite punching bag.
Oh, I love it.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite place you two have ever lived together?
Who's supposed to answer first or together?
Whatever.
Whoever.
No rules.
Boulder.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that. I still think our home in Drona. I still think up until 2 months ago, that was the place that we lived longest in succession in our whole lives. But so anyway,
we didn't have any kids. It was a college town. I was living my life. It was, we just got married. That
was like our Tempe lifestyle, except we were poor AF.
Yeah. Listen, Sarah worked at a high-end, quote-unquote, hamburger place. And we would go there, split a burger, and I'd go there because it had unlimited fries.
And we got free Cokes there when I worked.
I was just mainstreaming it. Leah, what is your favorite thing to do when Christian's not home, when he's overseas or whatever for weeks?
Oh, God. There's so many things. Probably I love to go hiking, and it's just far to get to some great trails and stuff. So I would probably just go and be gone and just hit the trails and take the dogs and do something like that for sure. It's lame. I do whatever I want.
Lame.
Or not.
Yeah.
I honestly, my life doesn't change much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Christian, I have a question. Which is scarier, being on the bike going down the mountain or being on the back of the motorcycle sometime?
On the back of the motorcycle by 10x.
Because you have no control, maybe?
Yeah, you have no control. And I think just my perception of what the sport and how dangerous it is has gone through the roof, and my appreciation as well. I can't believe I ever did that. First of all, I can't believe when you see it now in person, you see from a different angle. It's insane. And when you're in it and you're doing it, first of all, you don't have the time to think about how crazy it is. And if you do, you're a mess and you should be out of the race. But now I have such big appreciation, but I also have appreciation of how dangerous it is and the consequences. And so on the motorcycle, like you say, you don't have control. You sit in an awkward position, and behind the guys, it's a race within a race as well. So we're sharing the road with all the team cars. So we have the left lane, they have the right lane. And so you don't use the apex of anything. It's an amount of times you're leaning that hard, you're scraping your feet and now I'm starting to get more confidence in my driver. I always have confidence in him because he's amazing, but at the same time, it takes a lot to really have full confidence. And to be honest with you, a lot of times I just shut my eyes. I'm like, I don't have any control anyway, so if we crash, it's not like I can do anything about it. Yeah, it's scary.
This is a dealer's choice question.
Oh.
Please share what you either love or admire about each other, or something that drives you crazy that you do.
I'm definitely going first. No, the one thing I admire about Christian is that if he decides to do something, he does it 110%. And I really admire people like that, because I'll start something and be like, but if he says he's going to do it, by God, he's gonna do it all day, all week, all month. He's going to finish it 110%. Yeah, it's a really great quality.
What about the negative side?
He said either or.
Yeah, it was dealer's choice.
Wow.
You could tell us something too, just for fun. That might
We can always edit it out.
You know what he does that's so effing annoying?
Yes, I want to know.
God. I mean, there's lots of things, but for me, the biggest thing, he'll make his coffee in the morning and put the milk in his coffee cup, and he'll leave the milk on the counter for hours. And he's like, put it away. I'm just like, just put it away now.
I don't know if I'm going to have another one.
Oh my God.
It's very possible.
Yeah. You don't want to have to make the walk back to the refrigerator. That's way too much.
He's retired. He's not training anymore. Come on.
Yeah. With Leah, I would say, if anything, as you can see now, Leah's a go-getter at all times, right? I would just love her to slow down and come to my level once in a while. If anything, just because I love the essence of her, just to be, hey, can you just chill out for a bit? And that would be my one thing I would ask. At the same time, you never want to tame a thoroughbred either. That's the best part about Leah at the same time. And she keeps me on my toes, because without her, man, I'd be a complete disaster. I'm very thankful, or else I'd be, I think it'd be worse than a disaster.
I love it. This is the last question. As future empty nesters, when you think about that, what are some things that you think either you guys might want to do differently, or what concerns you about that, or how are you thinking about that?
Go ahead.
I went first on the last one.
No, I think it's always, I've had many friends that didn't do well with the kids being gone. And I've had other people that are like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to us. So we're hopefully going to end up somewhere in the middle there, if not more the best part. But I think that with all the trials and tribulations we've already been through, and the fact that we actually like each other, I hope she likes me, I think that we're going to be okay. And I'm looking forward to traveling a little bit and taking advantage of that, because my summers are always extinguished. And so when I'm home, it's school year, and there's not really, apart from Christmas break and spring break, there's never a real good time to take off and go. So I'm really looking forward to taking advantage of that kind of situation in my off season. So
Yeah.
I hope you feel the same.
No, I
I'm
did.
going one or the other.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Love it. Does Christian ever cook for you, Leah?
No, he used to, but no.
Yeah, and I used to. It's one of those things that almost like a language skill that you don't do, and it seems insurmountable to even think about putting a meal together. I know it can't be that hard. I know he does such an amazing job of just whipping up anything. There can be just random things and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And to the point of sometimes I don't want to go out to eat because I know it's not even going to be as good as what Leah's going to put together. So why would? And the wine fridge is right there.
Yeah. I have to pay $15 for or $20 for a glass, and I don't have to drive.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I am very eyes open when it comes to that, because I know that Leah, one of her things that she loves in life is fine dining experiences, things like that. And of course, if you're cooking for a living and then cooking at home all the time, you're fed up. So, yes, we need to go out on a date soon.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard it here. We're holding you to it.
Tonight.
Excited. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are the best.
That
Thank
was
you
fun.
for
That was fun.
I think before you go, so Leah's been asking me, like, when am I going to be? I have things to say. So I've been doing.
Kristen's been doing podcasts for years. And I was like, they need to have a wife of a cyclist on. The life behind the rider is so exciting, right? And so when you invited me, Justin, you just blew my world apart. You made my year.
Thank you. And I'm going to be honest with you too, since we're being vulnerable. What I didn't want to do, Leah, is I didn't want to just talk about Christian's career and what and how you, for lack of better terms, fit into that. Because obviously you have much more to you than that.
You're not just Christian's wife.
And so I didn't want to ask a bunch of questions about that either, because I think you both are strong and independent in your own way, but you can also tell that you deeply care for each other. And I just really admire that, because you don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
And so again, that's why I didn't ask you a ton of questions about what was it like a wife of
both.
cyclists, and a mom to Christian. Yeah.
But yeah, what my observation is that you guys are both super powerhouses, and together you're like force multiplier. Like it's not just double, it's like exponential, which is awesome.
Thanks for having me.
But he was worried.
I did it. I loved
He
it.
was worried.
What was he worried about?
He texted me, he's like, she's been waiting for this for years.
Should be talking. I know Justin's always on various ones, and I'm like, they should ask me some questions. I think I could really add to this.
Definitely.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
All right.
Not
I mean,
like bad.
if you need some
Cooler.
more content, there's a whole slew of cycling wives that we could get together and do anything you would like to talk about.
That should be, Sarah's going to do some independent episodes. You guys should connect on that.
That'd be fun.
The
all right,
stories behind the story.
Let me
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Running Ahrens. We truly love having these conversations and sharing them with all of you.
If something resonated with you today, we'd be so grateful if you'd rate and review the show. It helps more people find us.
And if you know someone who'd connect with this episode, send it their way. You never know who might just need to hear it.
We'd also love to hear from you, your feedback, your stories, or even topics you'd like us to tackle next.
You can connect with us on our personal socials, the show's Facebook page, or through the website, runningahrens.today. And links are always in the show notes.
Until next time, keep showing up, stay kind, and remember,
Life's a long run, and the best way forward is together.